We have a bunch of things retesting today. Let's jump right in. We have your TLT. So you guys are still trying to come up to hit that price target. The previous days have been a little bit choppy, which is why markets feel a little bit choppy right now. Because this is like your money flow indicator, and it's not really moving anymore. We'll see after it hits this price target if it falls back down. Or hopefully hit the giant moving average, which is lower. Here's your 2-year yield. Looks like you guys are coming back up for a retest again and seeing if you guys can get rejected by that line again. And if you do, most likely you're going to head down lower. This can happen where you have multiple retests. Now we're just waiting for a confirmation downward to say that we're going to most likely hit this price target. Here's your 10-year yield. Look like you guys are still bouncing here at the bottom. Of course, you already hit the price target already. No patterns yet on your 10-year. If you guys do break this lower line and then come up retest and get rejected, you'll see a lower 10-year. But currently, you are trying to make a pattern. Here's your S&P 500. Looks like that breakout was a little bit of a fake out. I don't know why that rhymes, but I did say I wanted a clearer breakdown of the pattern before I said a complete breakout happened and you'll most likely hit the price target. You guys currently bounced. Looks like you guys are coming back up to retest the highs that happened. And if you guys get rejected by those, then I'll probably just turn around and then I'll have to break back out of the pattern again. Currently, nothing really there on the S&P 500. Here's your NASDAQ on the daily time frame. Looks like you guys broke up out of this pattern. And now you guys are probably going to get a retest of the pattern. That is just the direction that the pattern broke. You guys may see a retest if you get a rejection. And that can also happen where it just flies way up and then it gets rejected and then comes back down. We'll see. This price target's very, very small, so I'm expecting just a wick to hit it. I don't know if full candle will fill that, but we will see. Here's your Dow Jones. Looks like you guys are going to try to make another pattern besides this rising pattern. Looks like a head and shoulders pattern, which would just look like this, where you got the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, something like that. And then if it breaks that bottom line, then everything goes bye-bye. But no confirmation yet on that, and hasn't finished building the right shoulder. I'll draw it out when I see it better. But currently, your Dow Jones just looks like it's going to come up for a retest. Here's your Bitcoin. For tiny patterns like Bitcoin, it's struggle for those patterns to play out because so much volatility in these cryptos. You guys do have the giant accumulation zone here. Think of it like a brick wall and you're trying to break through it. Kind of hard. You're kind of going to bounce off of it quite a bit before you get through it, if you go through it. Currently, looks like you guys almost filled the price target here on this little pattern, and then you went straight back up. We'll see if we get more of a pattern drawn out, which is what I'm hoping for. A bigger pattern is always easier to look at than a small pattern. Here's your XRP. Same thing as Bitcoin as XRP. You guys had the tiny pattern. You guys have the tiny price target. And then you got close to it. And now it looks like you're retesting the pattern on this one. Bitcoin looks like you broke back into the pattern on that one. But we will see what happens. Hopefully, I'm hoping for both. They just make a bigger pattern that's easier to trade. Here's your gold on the daily time frame. You guys popped up out of the pattern. Came back down for a retest. You guys can still come back lower for a retest. But so far, it looks like your gold is pretty bullish and has a high probability of hitting 501.08 cents. We'll see in the coming days if gold decides to do that. Here's your silver. Looks like you guys shot up and then all of a sudden you guys hit your head on that upper trend line. Got a little rejection going on. We can see if you're either going to get a confirmed rejection with tomorrow by having another down candle or you break through with a white candle. This is just according to my charts. And if you get that white candle broken up out of it, then your silver is most likely to go even higher than it was previously. Now, the overall look of the current market, make sure to like, subscribe, maybe comment, is you guys have a whole bunch of just retesting right now. You guys have those patterns, broke up, they're all going to go back and retest the bigger pattern that happened. And your bond market looks like it's getting a little choppy as it tries to fill that price target. As soon as the bond market starts moving cleanly again, most likely after hitting that price target, then you'll see more movement in the indexes and your yields. And I will see you guys Friday.